What would happen if Godzilla was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Would he be able to protect the Earth from Thanos and other alien threats? And how would Godzilla react to a powerful alien like Thor crash landing on his planet? Find out in this video. Christmas is the season of giving, and this year I wanted to give something special to the fans who have stuck with me these past 5 years. I can't believe it's been this long. So this video is for Dorian Garcia 6618, who requested an updated Godzilla vs. MCU video. Dorian, I'm sorry this video has taken so long, but this is what I believe would happen if the MonsterVerse crossed over with the MCU. Now featuring Godzilla vs. Kong and everything that happened after Endgame. Okay, so the last time I made this crossover, Endgame had just come out, and oh boy have they been busy since then. Now, I haven't really kept up with the MCU much, but thanks to Screen Crush, CBR, and new rock stars catching me up, I think I have a fair grasp of events. Oh, and in case it wasn't clear, major spoilers from the MCU and MonsterVerse films. Before the dawn of time, the Celestials came and seeded the Earth with the egg of a Celestial. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the modern age, this Celestial was about to hatch, which forced the Eternals, agents sent by the Celestials to protect the Earth so the Celestial could incubate, to choose between saving the people of this planet or letting the Celestial live, as was their mission. And as compelling as this moral dilemma is, Godzilla only cares about one thing and one thing only: protecting the Earth. In this new universe, Godzilla senses several powerful alien presences, beings who do not belong on this Earth. Godzilla immediately destroys the undeveloped Celestial and hunts down the Eternals. And, well, let's just say these aren't people we're getting a movie about anymore. At some point in prehistory, Agamotto, the wizard, acquires the Time Stone and establishes Camartage. The Time Stone attracts the attention of Godzilla. We've learned from Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla x Kong that Godzilla is kind of very much power hungry, and also that he may have eaten a very powerful Hollow Earth energy source at some point, earning the nickname the Monster Who Ate a Star. We've learned from Banner that the Infinity Stones emit a massive amount of radiation, gamma radiation. Not only would Godzilla perceive that the Infinity Stones are a possible threat from the stars, but the power itself would entice him to collect them all. Godzilla lays siege to Camartage, but is trapped in the mirror dimension and safely released by Agamotto hundreds of miles away. Godzilla knows that he can't obtain the stone, for now, so he waits. 900's Norway isn't so lucky, because after Odin has defeated the Frost Giants, he has the bright idea to hide the space cube and the stone contained inside in the most backwater, out-of-the-way realm he can think of, Earth. So he gives the cube to some faithful Norwegians and yeets out of there. Little does he know that Godzilla is lurking, and the moment the Asgardians leave, Godzilla pops out of a Hollow Earth portal and decimates the poor Norwegian town, thus acquiring the Space Stone. After swallowing a Space Stone, I think that Godzilla would realize he needs to expend his energy capacity so he doesn't run the risk of going thermonuclear. So he hunts down the Titan living in the Antarctic at the time, killing it and taking its lair so he can evolve. We know that after evolving in Godzilla x Kong, Godzilla's energy capacity increased by 20 times, and theoretically Godzilla could evolve as much as he needs to, as long as he has a steady supply of sun radiation, and perhaps a kaiju like Tiamat to absorb the DNA of. So Godzilla would be safe from going thermonuclear as long as he plays it safe. Space Stone in hand, Godzilla decides that maybe now he can handle the wizard infestation, and so he quickly grabs the Time Stone and destroys Camartage while he's at it. You know, it's kind of funny how Godzilla is destroying most of the superheroes before the MCU even really kicks off. Like, we've already eliminated the Eternals, Captain Marvel will never get her powers without the Space Stone, and obviously Doctor Strange can't learn magic anymore, so what now? Well, I think that Captain America still happens in roughly the same way. Even without the cube, the Red Skull is still a mad scientist and America still needs a hero. So the Red Skull would likely still invent a super weapon of some kind and target America. Cap still stops him, and he gets frozen in ice. Only difference is that the Red Skull does not become the guardian of the Soul Stone, and may still be lurking in the shadows causing trouble. The movies Iron Man and Hulk proceed as normal. Thor is a bit tricky, but I think it would stay mostly the same. For most of the movie, Thor has been stripped of his power, so I don't think that Godzilla would register him as a threat until he regains his power at the end of the film. So with a little luck, Thor beats the Destroyer and yeets out of Earth before Godzilla can reach him. Like in the original timeline, Loki seeks out Thanos and tells him that he can help him find the Space Stone, for a price. This time, however, things are trickier. It's not in possession of the humans, so Loki can't just yank it and use it to open a portal for the invasion fleet. And it's not like he can just sneak it past Odin's nose, because remember that as one of the 9 realms, Earth is technically under his protection. So Thanos waits until a better opportunity presents itself and focuses his efforts on acquiring the Power Stone. Meanwhile, the Mutos wake up and start causing a ruckus, but now they have to deal with an evolved Godzilla amped on Infinity Stones. So Godzilla decimates them instantly. Ronan the Accuser claims the Power Stone for himself and rebels against Thanos, only to get killed by a ragtag group of misfits and their half-celestial leader. So the Power Stone goes to Xandar. Thanos decimates the Vibrant Planet. Thanos is now in possession of the Power Stone and the Mind Stone. Around this time, the 9 realms under Odin's protection begin to fall into disarray because Loki has secretly deposed Odin and taken his place. And it's at this point that I should probably address Thor the Dark World, because I kind of forgot about this in my original script. Okay, so I think that Godzilla would sense the power of the Aether, also known as the Reality Stone, as soon as it bonds with Jane Foster and enters our world. Thor shows up almost immediately though, so I don't think that Godzilla would have enough time to really cause that much of a problem, and so Thor the Dark World proceeds as normal. Anyway, back to Thanos. Thanos knows that the recent incompetence of Asgard is a sign of 2 things. Either Loki is asleep on the job or dead. So he takes a bit of a risk and sends the Black Order, equipped with the Power Stone, to seek out the stone-eating monster and nab the Space Stone before Asgard can get its act together. The Black Order touches down, and Godzilla instantly senses the presence of the Power Stone. Godzilla makes his way full tilt to the interlopers, hungry and ready for battle. The Black Order puts up a valiant fight, but the 2 stones give Godzilla a continuous supply of radiation, which allows him to instantly heal from any attack. He overpowers the Black Order and consumes the Power Stone. At this point, Thanos knew he messed up. He had underestimated the monster, and had overtaken his most powerful servants. Now it had the Power Stone. Thanos knows now that he is treading on dangerous ground here, but he cannot give up, not now. Thanos refocuses his efforts on the Reality and Soul Stones. The easiest one to obtain by far is the Reality Stone, which is now located on the backwater den of Nowhere. So Thanos nukes Nowhere and takes the stone. He then proceeds to torture Nebula for the location of the Soul Stone and sacrifices Gamora to obtain the stone like in the original timeline. Now he's kind of in a bind because he has 2 stones and has to go up against a creature that has the other 3. If he is to proceed with his plan, he has no choice but to confront Godzilla himself. He invades the dwarves and forces them to build him a weapon which can kill the beast, and a gauntlet to hold the stones. Working together with Thanos' servants, the dwarves create Mecha Godzilla. While Thanos is plotting his revenge on Godzilla, Hela takes over Asgard. Thor gets sent to Sakaar, however he does not meet Hulk there because none of the Avengers movies have technically happened, and Banner is probably living in a third world country helping sick people like he was at the beginning of Avengers. Thor still escapes, of course, and ends up challenging Hela and causing Ragnarok. Thor brings the remnant of the Asgardians back to Earth. Godzilla immediately senses the presence of Thor, now more powerful than he has ever been, and Godzilla ain't having it. Godzilla confronts the Asgardian camp in Norway, and Thor and Godzilla have an epic battle. Thor puts up a valiant fight, but Godzilla is clearly stronger. Thor holds him off long enough for the Asgardians to evacuate once more, and then rejoins his people. forced to find a home among another of the 9 realms. Thanos arrives on Earth with his entire fleet, leading the fleet with Mecha Godzilla, powered by his 2 Infinity Stones. The Earth is caught completely off guard, but it's not mankind Thanos is after. Thanos and his fleet engage Godzilla, attempting to overwhelm him with a barrage of laser fire, but Godzilla doesn't even flinch. He picks off Thanos' fleet with his Infinity Beam, one by one, until Thanos and Mecha Godzilla remained. Thanos uses Mecha Godzilla's Bifrost Beam, sending Godzilla flying backwards. Godzilla stands up, radiating fury. Godzilla and Thanos' Mecha Godzilla engage in a fierce duel. Godzilla is hard-pressed, but he has the advantage with his 3 stones to Thanos' 2. Mecha Godzilla is slowly picked apart until Thanos stands amidst the rubble, looking up at a very angry Godzilla. He sits down, resigned, and gives in to his fate as he is evaporated by Godzilla's Infinity Beam. Godzilla consumes the last 2 stones, and at last he feels complete. The Mind Stone enhances his intellect and gives him knowledge beyond his means. He now understands what the stones are and what he can do with them. He can make whatever he wants into reality. But all Godzilla wants is to rest. As long as nature is safe, he is satisfied. So he uses the stones to take back his lair from Tiamat, where he will likely sleep for the next 100 or even 1,000 years, only waking occasionally to snap a threat to nature out of existence. The Avengers are never formed, and for the most part the would-be Avengers are living out their everyday lives as they were before the team was formed in canon. Thor and Loki build a prosperous new Asgard on one of the other 9 realms. The Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are never created because Hydra never got their hands on the Mind Stone, and neither is Ultron created. In this universe, the Age of Heroes never really came about, and only a few ever came to be in the first place. Similarly, the Age of Monsters came and went with a fizzle, as Godzilla immediately decimated the Mutos and Ghidorah. Ghidorah never messes with the storms of Skull Island, because he's dead, but Kong eventually outgrows his environment, and so Monarch has the bright idea of using him to lead them to the Hollow Earth. Scar King is easily dealt with by Godzilla, and Kong finds a peaceful home with his people. Overall, this timeline is a lot less eventful, but much more peaceful for the people of Earth. Well, what did you think of my theory? This certainly took a wild turn compared to my original video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to JPzilla for some more wild crossovers and deep dives into Godzilla and other kaiju lore. This has been JPzilla.